Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Joan Mendez. I am an author, artist, healer, and founder of the Whisper Method. I am loved, I am peace, I am joy, I am happiness, and I am a queen. And I am here to remind you healing begins with a whisper, and whispers can change your life. And my mantra is simple: I am loved, I am healthy, wealthy, and happy, and I already am. That is how I live now. But let me take you back to the girl who carries storms. I was once the girl who lived in silence. I carried wounds that were not mine. I gave too much, even when I was empty. And I survived abuse, betrayal, heartbreaks. And maybe you know that place. Smiling on the outside, but broken inside. Giving to everyone, but forgotten in return. And I was that girl, the girl who listened to whispers. The whispers were my survival, they were my guide. Whispers of God, whispers of truth, whispers from my own soul that reminded me you are not what happened to you. You are what you choose now. And slowly, I began to heal. I began to write. I began to whisper my new truth into my life. And that's when I started my memoir, The Girl Who Listens to Whispers. Yes. And people connected. One reader told me, I read through the night and I couldn't stop. I had to keep turning the page. And another reader said, this feels like my story too. It's raw, but it's also hope. And that's when I realized my story was never just mine. It was for all of us who had carried storms. And then, just when I thought I had lost everything, something shifted. I had been journaling daily, whispering affirmations, asking God to bless me, even against my own will. Because deep down, I thought I had it all figured out. But God knew better. And my whole world made a 360-degree turn. The people I loved the most disappeared of my life. They didn't like my truth. They chose shadows. And I chose light. And in that silence, a friend came. A good friend came to my life, steady, calm, and he checked on me now and then. He was supportive. He gave me advice that was raw, real, and unfiltered. And for the first time in my life, I spoke to someone who didn't have a mask. His words were direct, honest, respectful, and caring. And he told me truths that I have always known in my heart, but no one have ever spoken out loud to me. And I remember asking him one day, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you walk away when my life looked like pure chaos? And he said, because you have a beautiful soul, and this too shall pass. You are the realest person I have ever met. You don't make me guess, you communicate. You say what you mean. Don't ever change that. And those words held my heart together when it was being shattered. And he gave me courage when I couldn't see the light. And he told me, you are strong. You will be fine. Trust me. And he was right. Even though it was a never-ending pain that I was feeling in those moments, that pain felt eternal. And I realized then I had shifted. The life I knew was gone, but what replaced it was better. And God gave me a new opportunity. Friendships that were real, laughter and tears with all who stayed. And there was a message, a good morning, a good night, a presence that reminded me you are safe, you are seen, you are loved. For the first time, I was experiencing a love that was reciprocal, respectful, and very peaceful. I had attracted it into my life through whispers, through prayers, and through faith. I started smiling again, being happy. It took me a while to trust love again. It only happened when after I forgave someone that I care about and love dearly. But it did take me a while to trust again. My heart had been broken by someone I care deeply. The betrayal and the pain were so real, but so was the healing. And when I forgave, not for them, but for me, I had hope again inside my heart. And it was only after that forgiveness, only after I chose to heal, that God surprised me with something new, a love I didn't expect, a love I didn't have to chase or question or to prove. This man came into my life with gentleness, with truth, with wisdom. He didn't come to hurt me. He came to hold me together when I was in pieces. He reminded me that my soul was beautiful, that I was strong, and that I was worthy of peace. And that's why I call him Mi Cielo, because through him, I learned that heaven can touch earth when you heal. And today, I am not just surviving, I am thriving. I walk in peace. I live in joy. And I am surrounded by real people who love me and real conversations. And I am amazed at the life I'm living now. My business flourished, my finances improve, my relationships blossom. And everything flows now because I choose to heal. Because I whisper into existence the life I wanted, not the life I was told to live. And Miss Cielo's presence reminded me I don't have to hide my truth. I don't have to be small. I can be myself fully, and that is enough. Why this memoir matters? My memoir is not just a book, it is a testimony. It proves that healing is possible and that betrayal doesn't define you. The storms don't last forever. It shows that whispers, gentle, softens, daily truth can rebuild a life. And it reminds you you cannot force people to love you, but you can choose to love yourself. And you can choose light. You can choose peace. And when you do, everything shifts. And this is why I wrote The Girl Who Listens to Whispers. To remind you that your soul matters, your truth matters, and healing is your birthright. And before I close, there's something I must share. It is the hardest step, the most important step. Forgiveness. I know how heavy that word feels. I know how impossible it seems. But forgiveness is not about excusing what they did. It's not about saying that it didn't matter. It's about releasing yourself of carrying it forever. Forgiveness starts at home with yourself. We must forgive ourselves first for staying too long, for silencing our own voice, for thinking we weren't enough. None of it was your fault. And it is time to set yourself free. And yes, forgive them all. Who here has heard this phrase? Forgive, not because they deserve it. Let me ask you something. Who are we to decide who deserves forgiveness or not? That's not our job. That belongs to God alone. Our job is not to feed hatred, but to release it. Because the moment we say they don't deserve forgiveness, we already judging, and we're not God. Forgiveness is not about excusing what they did. It's about setting ourselves free. It's about planting hope instead of bitterness. It's about refusing to carry poison into our bodies and our spirits. We all deserve peace. We all deserve redemption. We all deserve to come to ourselves. Forgiveness is not about deciding who deserves it. Because the truth is, we all deserve peace and redemption. We deserve forgiveness. And that judgment belongs to God alone. What forgiveness does is set us free first. It starts at home, within our own heart. We forgive ourselves for carrying pain, for staying too long, for not knowing better at that time. And then, little by little, we extend the same grace to others. And forgiveness does not mean we have to trust them again or let them back to our lives. It means we release the weight, the hatred, the grudges. Because if we hold it for too long, they turn into sickness and heaviness in our own bodies and spirit. When we forgive, we plant a seed of hope instead of hatred. Okay? And that seed can blossom. It can bloom. It blooms in us. And maybe, even in the ones who once hurt us. Because forgiveness is love in action. It says, I choose peace. I choose healing. I choose life. And by forgiving, we're not only healing ourselves, we open the door for others to find their healing too. And you will know in your heart when you're forgiven. It won't be easy, trust me. It won't happen overnight. But little by little, it begins to fall off. All that weight falls off. And we release the grudges, the pain is not in our mind anymore. We don't need them to become sickness. We don't need that. Your body, your heart, your spirit deserves peace. So we forgive. And once we heal, we teach others how to forgive. And forgive them, not to decide who deserve it. Judging is not our job. Healing is. Because forgiveness is not just healing, it is freedom. So I invite you, beautiful soul, come and walk this journey with me. Read my memoir. Share it with whosoever needs hope. Give it to someone who needs healing. Because healing doesn't have to be loud. It can be gentle, private, sacred. One whisper at a time. I am Joan Mendez. I am loved. I am peace. I am happiness. And I am a queen. And I am here to remind you, whispers can change your life. Thank you so much. See you soon.